Hello brothers, this is a short video to help you with public talks and just to introduce to you the basic concept of using loops and displaying fields from those loops with the custom report editor. So it's just a basic tutorial to convey those ideas to you. So the first thing is to click on Manage Custom Reports, and that brings us to here. Now we will create a new script. So we go over here and we click on New. Just for an example, I will show you how you could display a list of public talk titles. So let's just call it Public Talk Titles, and we click OK. Now the script will show down here on the right hand side, and up here we have the controls. We have content and we have system, and this is our custom script editor. So I mentioned about loops and fields and that we were going to list public talks. So the first thing we do is click on database loop. We must now pick the table that we want to get information from, and the table in this case is public talk titles. You have criteria, but that will be a discussion for another time. But down here we can sort the rows. It would make sense to sort them by talk number. This setting here, ignore date range, is important. If you don't have that ticked, then it may restrict the records returned, and in this case we don't want any restriction. We want all of the records, so we leave that ticked and we don't need to use this information. So we click Insert. So as you can see, it's put in some script for us to show details from the public talk titles table, but nothing is on screen. So if you click on the end loop, that will just place the cursor there, and now we can click Insert Field. So perhaps the first thing we could put in is the talk number, and let's keep it set to that. Don't interpret, use content as is, and we'll click Insert. Notice that it's put that line in. Now at this point, just so that we can see information on the screen, let's click on End of Line. So that's now put in an EOL code, and as you can see, the talk numbers are showing down on the left hand side. Now if we hover the mouse across just where I've put it, if you look down the bottom left, just down here, it mentions a tab position. So it's got tab position 3. So with the cursor still on EOL, let's click Insert Tab. We can just type in number 3 and we'll click Absolute. Now I'm not going to discuss the use of tabs, that's another time for another tutorial, but we're going to just put in a tab with an absolute setting. So that puts that code in, and now we can display another field. So perhaps this time we could show the theme, and we click Insert, and then let's do another tab. If we just scroll down and have a look, perhaps say here, if we look at the bottom left, it's tab 25. So we insert a tab, I type 25, absolute, insert, and this time I think I'm going to use the outline date. Now with the outline dates, the society only ever used the month and the year. So we want to display this as a custom date. So we can see some various predefined dates, but I would suggest in our case we use %D and %Y, and perhaps put in the backslash. So that's the month and the year. We click insert, and there we've got the dates. Now if you don't like it just showing one, just double click the entry, take off the hash and click update. And then finally, let's go here, that's tab position 31. So let's put in a tab 31 absolute, and I'm going to put a field in of times heard and insert. So there we have our table or our information that's presented, and you can see it there. There's 5 pages. There's several pages of information. So now we click Save Script, and we can close the script, and we can close our editor. Just have to wait a minute, my computer's gone a bit funny. I apologise for that outburst and that problem there. If we bring up public talks again, I'll just make sure it's in the list. Yes, so we'll close the editor. So let's just make the window small again so you can see it. So if we click on create a report, we've got custom selected, we go to custom reports, we pick on public talk titles and we click OK. There's our report. So hopefully, apart from that blip during the tutorial, for which I apologise, hopefully that explains to you how you can do loops and fields in scripts.